Sunnah followers, protectors of the Sunnah, Sunnah followers, protectors of the Sunnah.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Let me start over. I didn't know I was muted. Inna alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulallah. Welcome to another session of Sunnah Followers Hadith class. And this is the class wherein we discuss hadiths that relate and pertain to women in Islam. And let's put the hadith up for discussion tonight. And the source of the hadith is Sahih Muslim. And it's narrated by Abu Bakra. Abu Bakra. He said, during the battle of the camel, Allah benefited me with a word that I heard from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When the Prophet heard the news that the people of Persia had made the daughter of Khosrau their ruler, their queen, he said, never, never, never will succeed a nation that makes a woman its ruler. And I want everyone here to pause and ponder this hadith. We're living in the days of fitan, the days, as we say, in which the Sunnah has become abandoned. Nowadays, you see Muslims, Muslim women from the Muslim populated lands speaking out, advocating feminism, advocating free rights for women. First of all, Allah freed women and gave women the rights that they should have, okay? But we want to go beyond that. We want to be like the Kafir. We want to be like Khosrau. We want women to be rulers, imamas of the masjid. We have masjids, believe it or not, guys, that are imamed by women. The women are leading the men in prayer. The women are calling the adhan. And we wonder why our nation is not succeeding in anything that we do. You know, not only do you have women leading the prayers, but you have women advocating feminism, wanting to be presidents of the countries, wanting to be rulers over the people. We have to understand that Allah has hikmah or wisdom that we would never, ever understand. When Allah created woman, he made us different than man. And one of the things that makes us different is the fact that we are more emotional. When the Prophet said that no country will ever succeed that makes a woman its ruler, he meant just that, because we are governed by our emotions. And we women suffer with this thing called PMS. Sometimes during the month, we think clearly. Other times, our thought process can become diluted or confused based on the cycle that regulates our body. Okay? So a woman, I'm not saying women can't be in leadership positions. I'm in a leadership position. But to know where to draw the line, I can be a daya. I can be a manager of a website. I can be the owner of my own company. But when it comes to ruling the people, governing the people, making laws and decisions in regards to the people, no, this is not for me, because I can be biased, whereas a man cannot. We women suffer with the things such as jealousy. We women are more apt to hold grudges that can delude us in our decision-making process. So you women who are on these platforms demanding women's rights, women's women to be equal to men, you women need to sit down and fear Allah. Allah didn't make you to be like a man. We're equal spiritually in the struggle for paradise. But when it comes to ruling the world, governing the world, the men have not only the physical strength over us, but the emotional strength too. So as women, we need to sit down, learn, relearn what our roles are in life, and also learn what our rights are. And don't try to step outside that lane. Don't try to question Allah. Don't try to challenge his qadr, because you're only going to make yourself look foolish, and you're only going to prove that, again, Allah speaks the truth. That's why there'll be more women in hell than men, because only a woman would dare to challenge him that way. So it wasn't to put down women that the prophet made this statement. It wasn't to put down women that Allah made this rule or guideline. It's for our betterment. Because again, Allah knows his creation better than we know ourselves. So how can this hadith be incorporated into your life? Or how does this hadith impact your life? Go ahead, Sister Aisha.
Assalamu alaikum. This is a great insight because it shows us, like you said, that women can be great too. Just like if you look at the women of them back then, like Khadija, may Allah be pleased with her, and Aisha, and all those great women, and they did it, without trying to make a new rules. Like they didn't need to change anything. No, they didn't need to change Allah's laws to make a point, because you can still be great by learning from those great women of Islam instead of looking up as a role model this so-called woman rights that we have now. So it just shows how, just look at those companions back then, those women, they were literally the greatest women, and yet they didn't they didn't have to come like how this women right now, where they're like, oh no, I'm going to be the household instead of my husband and all that. You don't have to make a new rules when Allah has shown us those women, how great they were, and they didn't have to change anything.
Exactly. These were women that understood that Allah was looking out for their betterment. Anybody else that would like to share? Thank you for sharing that, Sister Aisha. What about you, Sister Sabrine?
I agree with that women, Allah created the woman in such a great way, but she created us both, the woman and the man, because with a balance, and that balance is not saying that one is less than the other, because the man is stronger in many ways because of the way that Allah created us both. And if women like Khadijah, mother of the believers, and Aisha, and many men, all of them, all those women showed great strength, great creativity. And at the same time, neither one wanted to take anything away from the man, or wanted to even be like a man, because Allah had bestowed upon the woman so many great things. Why would she even want to be him? And so just like he bestows Allah bestows so many great things upon the man, and we both, by coming together, we've done such great in the past, in history, such greatness to each other. I don't believe that one could have lived without the other, and that's why Allah had us the way he did. He unified us in such a way that we drew strength with each other.
We complement each other. Exactly.
Yeah, complemented each other. That's right. And so much is lost nowadays because so many women are trying to be like, I want to do what he does, you know, and with the man, I want to do what she does. You know, it's just everything is twisted, you know, and that's so sad. That's so sad.
Yeah, we have to stop doing, we have to understand, guys, that Allah knows what's best for us. And again, his rules, his laws and guidelines are not for our detriment, but instead for our betterment. You know, we just have to learn to accept his rules. We have to learn to accept his laws. We have to learn to make ourselves, like we talked about earlier, train our hearts to love what he loves and hate only what he hates. Until we do that, we will never truly be a believer. And the people who have not reached that level in their belief, these are the women and men that go around fighting for causes that go against Islam and advocating rights, you know, that Allah has already given us, you know, and rights that we should stay away from because he knows what's best for us. So again, it all boils down to seeking the proper knowledge and the proper understanding of this deen. Yeah, anyone else would like to share before we close out?
Some things I just wanted to say is, just like you said, you know, us human beings, we're like criminal by nature. Of course, we're attracted to what's dirty and what's not. So having said that, like many of us, we try to be more like a man, and it honestly just made me realize that, you know, my dad, like, whenever he never gets tired of working, and I never understood that because after working a second day, like I'm tired, I realized like I'm a woman, I get tired really easily, but my dad, like he can do overtime and all this stuff. And it shows like, you know, the difference Allah made between a woman and a man. And, you know, we're the same in faith, but each, you know, the genders that have different strengths and weaknesses. But it's just so crazy to me because nowadays, just like you mentioned, we have a lot of people, a lot of feminists, and I'm like, no, you know, Islam, we already have our rights, and you guys are trying to transgress Allah's laws because y'all think, you know, what y'all want is better when, you know, it's not. Allah knows best, and you never really know what's best for you until you really realize, and it happens, you're like, okay, yeah, now I understand. That's why I understand when Allah said a woman should, you know, stay home. Like a woman doesn't have to work. I understand that. Like as I age, I understand, like, I don't want to work. Like I'm fine being a housewife. Like I completely accepted that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Those of us women who work, I mean, I'm so happy I'm retired now, 6 months, 7 months. And it's still, I can't believe that I'm retired because I'm so used to getting up, punching that time clock and being mandated to work. And I look back on it now and I'm like, how did I do that? That's the life of a man, you know, never home, always working and paying the bills and fretting and worrying over how am I going to do this and how am I going to do that? SubhanAllah. When you retire, you get to reflect and say, oh, SubhanAllah, Allah truly speaks the truth. You know, he truly knows what's best for us because this is the way I should be, relaxed and more relaxed, not having to, I mean, we all have stresses in life, but at least I don't have the stress of having to hit that time clock, dealing with those kafirs, dealing with those clients, driving in that mess to come home. I don't have to deal with that anymore. Okay, let's put this hadith up on the screen for one last time. And again, the source of this hadith was Sahih Bukhari. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he heard the news that the people of Persia had made the daughter of Khosrau their queen and their ruler, he said, never will a nation succeed that takes a woman as its ruler. We have Muslims here in America that were voting for the American elections. First of all, you shouldn't have been voting in the American elections anyway. I don't care what no famous speaker told you. That famous speaker got some issues, okay? Because again, no one can supersede what the Prophet said. The Prophet said that Muslims cannot have kafirs as guardians and rulers and leaders over them, okay? But so you shouldn't have been voting anyway. But anyway, we had Muslims running and voting in the American elections, and a lot of you voted for Hillary Clinton to be president. I guess again, you disregarded this hadith. Never will a nation succeed that takes a woman as its ruler. We need to learn to accept what Allah says. We need to learn to practice what Allah commands us to practice and stop trying to prove him wrong. Because every time we try to prove Allah wrong, we only make ourselves look like a donkey. All right? Okay, I want to thank everybody for joining and participating in this session. Don't forget, guys, that tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will have the series Living the Sunnah. And our topic this week will be substance abuse amongst the Muslims. Substance abuse amongst the Muslims. What are the causes? And we will have Brother Muhammad Ziyada, who is from the Sheriff's Department, who will speak about what he has seen as being causes of Muslims resorting to substance abuse. Join us for that tomorrow. So, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.